Yeah, so we are back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you're watching this program from. We are broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa, on QCell Avenue, Serekunda. Yes, I'm with Julde Njai. Good morning. Julde, you know what? I am on Tobaski mood. So,
Really?
yes.
Already?
I'm feeling the Tobaski vibes already. The breeze of Tobaski is blowing.
Mashallah.
Yes.
I mean, it's really nice. It's a nice festive occasion where people come together, family, loved ones, you know, come together to celebrate, you know, exchange gifts and all of it. So yes, the Baski mom. But not just that, also to seek forgiveness from one another,
Yes.
which I think is very important. So yes, good morning to you, good morning to our viewers. It's good to be back here.
Yes, it's good to be back here. And we have Mr. Ade Drame as the newspaper review guest. You've not been here since
Man
last
from
week,
Salone.
Mr. Ade Drame. What happened?
Very busy with some extra training that we're doing in our team. So
Okay.
I've been absent from these certain...
Please, please, don't be running away. Sometimes stay. It's important. Our viewers need to see you here.
I'm not sure they do.
You know?
I'm not sure they do. But
They
it's always
missed
good
you.
to be here. And, Julia, welcome. And thank you for welcoming me.
Yeah, so, I mean, Julde mentioned something very important before we invited you. She said Tobaski is a time to ask for forgiveness, you know. For me, that forgiveness part, I want us to clarify it very clear. You understand?
Go ahead.
If you are to forgive someone, I think the individual needs to come to you and tell you, okay, this is what I've done. Please forgive me. I think that's the, is it not the, the proper forgiveness?
That's the proper one, but
may, yeah.
sometimes you may offend people without realizing that you've done so. It might have been something you said or something you've done. It's not a conscious decision. And so people tend to say, you know, if I have offended anybody, you know, intentionally or unintentionally, because, you know, our brains can only take so much, so there might be something you've missed. And I think that's why. But if there's something specific, then of course, you know, you can make it a specific thing and ask forgiveness for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is forgiveness to you, Julde?
Forgiveness to me, meaning, you know, you doing something wrong to me and I say, you know, I forgive you, I let it go. But also I choose like things to forgive. For instance, if it's something deliberate, you only forgive things that are not deliberate or intentional. But if it's something that is occurring every time, you know that this is something that is intentional. You don't forgive that. You only forgive because we all know we are human. But once someone did something to you deliberately, you know that that one you can't, because the tendency of them redoing that again or worse than that is very high. So even if you forgive them, maybe today you forgive them, tomorrow they will do something worse than that. You know, that is like intentional wrongdoing. So yeah, but aside from that, we are all human. Sometimes I might say something unintentionally or something that will hurt you, but even intentionally, but I will not know that these things are hurting Mr. Ade. For instance, the words that are coming out of my mouth. But yeah, that I can say, Mr. Ade, forgive me, I've done you something wrong, and then Mr. Ade forgives. But if it's something intentional and it's continuous, you know that Bika, I get it forgiveness, because the person will repeat it again.
I think also that you have the forgiveness rather has to be sincere.
Yeah.
Because you have the kind of, as we say in Salon, pan-tap forgiveness. You know, you forgive, you know, you kind of say you've forgiven, but deep down you haven't. So you kind of retain that, you know, that resentment, even hatred for the person. And what you say, you know, for the, as my Jamaican friend says, for the eye-seeing of men, you say, I've forgiven Julde, I've forgiven Balde, but deep down you haven't. So you have to be sincere in that, otherwise it's meaningless.
Yeah, I've also heard forgive and forget.
That's not possible.
Forgive and forget.
Easier said than done.
Forgetting, how do you forget?
You can't forget, especially.
You know, they said the axe forgets, but the tree never forgets.
This is it.
You understand?
Yeah.
So
because the axe chops down many trees.
Yes, but that tree will never forget that specific axe.
That's
you understand?
Yeah.
So it's important for us to I mean, you know, it is human to err sometimes. You know, you can be, you know, it's inevitable. You can make mistakes. You can.
know what the next line of that is? You know, you said it's human to err.
What to forgive is divine.
Be divine.
Divine.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes. Well,
It's divine. In a
Divine.
sense, yeah,
You
it's
know,
divine because it's only
it's-
God that can
yeah,
forgive
quite.
and then not hold anything back. He can forgive you today,
Yes.
tomorrow you did
That's it,
something wrong,
yes.
and He will not also
And-
say,
and-
I've forgiven
and the
you
way
there,
God
so
forgives is
Yeah,
when
right.
you do something wrong and you ask Him to forgive you,
Yeah.
He will forgive you and He will never even, I mean, account you for what He's forgiven you.
Quite.
Yeah.
You understand? Maybe you can do another thing wrong
Yeah.
and He can account you for that thing, but not the past that you ask for forgiveness.
Yes, yeah.
So it's divine.
Right.
So the African code, you cannot learn all the hunter's tricks in one day. You should have put animals cannot learn all the hunter's tricks in one day. Maybe that would have been more appropriate.
But no, neither can a hunter. Because if you are a hunter, it's like if you take it even out of, or let's use it in the original context. If you go into the bush, and depending on what prey you're hunting, you use different tactics. Because some of them have very keen hearing, others have keen eyesight. Others are good at disguising themselves in the bush and blending in with the surroundings. So you need different tactics for different animals that you're hunting.
True.
And it's about skills if you take it out of that context. If you come to a job, you know, somebody says, oh, I spent a day at the radio station and now I know everything about radio. That's an impossibility. You might have learned a lot because the people who were teaching you were good teachers, but it's like any subject. You need more than, you know, just the ones to understand and to fully comprehend and also to be able to utilize it in all situations. So yeah. Well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Julda, what do you think of the
I
proverb?
think it's the same interpretation as that of Mr. Ades. You can, let me just take it in, like, for instance, life experience. You can't learn a trade in one day. It takes so many years of experience. It
Indeed.
takes practice to actually master something. Just like how you cannot learn all the tricks in one day of a hunter, it also takes you to learn a trade to perfect it. In order to be an expert in something, it takes so many years of hard work, consistency. It takes so many years of practice to actually master that art. But you can't just do it in one day. Sometimes, like, I think there was a proverb that was here, and Mr. Ade said that, is it the sprinter that won, and then like 30 was it 30 seconds? You mentioned something like
it was
that.
It took how many years
Yes,
training to run 10 seconds?
10 seconds.
It was
exactly.
Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
It takes so many years to actually master something, but
Yeah.
people on the surface will just see and will like, this is something easy.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's easy to be, you know, easier done than said. But again, it takes so many years. You don't see me talking, you don't see me doing stuff, or any other person for that matter, and you think it's that easy. It's not easy. It takes so many years. It takes you to make mistakes, to correct your mistakes, and then be a better version of yourself.
Because when you see somebody who's good at their work,
Yeah.
whether they're a sprinter, a footballer, a doctor, whomever, because they're good at it, they make it look easy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as we say in Creole, sabi no get worry. You know, they're very relaxed about how they do it. And so everybody looking at them thinks, that looks easy. But it looks easy because they're good at it. It's like anything,
Yeah.
even being an editor and so on. If you're good, I'm not saying that I'm good, but if you're good, and people think, oh, you know, how difficult can that be?
Yeah.
Until you try and do
That reminds me of a wrestling competition that happened in Basse many years ago.
Okay.
There is a guy that said, okay, if you can challenge me, you know, I have a price tag for this. You understand? So as the people were sitting, I wasn't a witness because that happened around the 70s.
Okay.
So our elders were talking about it while I was there listening.
You,
So they said, there is this short guy, you know, a very strong man. He was challenging very strong men. And once you encounter with him, you know, the next thing you will see, you know, yourself on the ground.
Yeah, right.
So he was so strong. So there was a guy sitting, I mean, among the people watching that wrestling competition. And the guy was like, took this guy. It's easy to take him down. Very easy. Let's. I mean.
Let me try.
So they said, okay, now can you challenge him?
Go.
They gave him his sword. You know, so this sword guy dealt with the man to an extent. I learned that. You know, you know, the time he realized he was unconscious was on the hospital bed. You understand? So you can see it looks easy from the outside, even football game.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm watching my colleagues playing football, I see opportunities. I see things that they would have done and score. Well, it's not easy that way.
Yeah, I mean, we shout and, you know, Lionel Messi misses an open goal and we say, oh, come on, if that was me, I would have scored. You know, and you know, we're talking about Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, these are the guys who are at the top of their game. And yet, you know, that's a kind of human tendency. We look at things that are done by people who are very good at it. And because they're good at it, they make it look easy, they make it look simple. But no, there's a lot of practice that has gone into that. Like the guy who took the first ever, you know, Antonin Panenka. You know, this Panenka penalty. He ran up and everybody's expecting he's going to blast it here, blast it there. He just chipped it straight down the middle. And the penalty now has his name. And they said, you know, why did you do it? He said, well, I'd done it 100 times in practice. And the goalkeepers never seemed to guess that I was going to do that.
And he scored.
And it was in a final, in a European Cup final against Czech Republic, against Germany.
He scored?
He scored. He scored.
Wow.
And that now the penalty is named after him, the Panenka, to take
Panenka.
Panenka. Yeah, and he said, and that kind of for me encapsulates it. He said, you know, I tried it 100 times in training and it worked. And I thought, bigger stage, but the pressure, imagine, it's a final.
That is the thing.
The bravery,
that is
the confidence comes because he had practice.
Imagine his legs might be shaking.
They might be tremble because everybody was watching, and I remember the commentary. It's like in England when we were watching it live, the commentators completely lost their mind. We'd never seen it. Nobody had ever done that before, and it was like, what did we just see? You know,
in the middle.
Down there, you can find it on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Scored.
1976 European Championships final, Czech Republic against Germany, and he scored. And like I said, when they interviewed him afterwards, in fact, until recently, they were still interviewing both him and the goalkeeper. I think it was Sepp Maier was the goalkeeper that he scored against. And Sepp Maier said, you know, I became infamous as the goalkeeper who you know, conceded the first ever Panenka in a important game.
Viewers, this is QTV This Morning. If you're just tuning in, I am Ibrahim Balde and I'm with Jules Denjai here on the program. We are about to take a short break, and after the break then we'll take a look at papers. We'll be right back. Take a look at the stories on the various newspapers. We'll also be looking at stories beyond our border. So if you're just tuning in, this is QTV This Morning. Julde, what paper do you have there?
I have the Foroya newspaper, Standard, as well as the Point newspaper. And the main headline on the Standard newspaper reads, PDOIS leader says Barrow fears a united opposition.
So now he's a mind reader. Okay. Nobody knew his psyche. Can he also tell us who's going to win, please, if he can read Barrow's mind? Look, in a way he's right, because you'd have to look at previous election results, you know, the percentages that people got. But that kind of makes the presumption that because so many people didn't vote for Barrow, they're all going to vote for the opposition, or a single opposition or a united opposition. They might not. They might decide not to vote because they've got different aims and ambitions. They're not all thinking the same. However, if you can get them to say, oh, the one thing we have in common is we're against Adama Barrow, then that might work. But it's not, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee.
Yeah, that reminds me, when is the registration closing?
Is it the 21st or the 22nd of this month?
You mean for the
voters?
Supplementary
yes.
voter? Yeah, it might be. I was going to say the 21st, but you've said 22nd, so it could be.
I think I'll have to go get mine today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Please, you've said this on this program
Yes,
many
I
times.
mean,
We don't want to get to the point when you're sitting here and telling us,
Oh,
I forgot.
I didn't get
You have
mine.
few more days to go.
Yeah, so I'll have to go get mine because,
guys
and they are
almost
just
here.
next door.
No, that's even
Not
worse.
far
You
from
shouldn't have
my
said
home.
that. You should not have said that.
Yeah,
Because
next
now
door.
we're going to ask you tomorrow and the day after. Otherwise, it's gone.
I can't even wait for weekend. I'll have to go and do
No,
that.
it has to be before the
It
weekend.
has
You know, I don't know what time do registrations close for the day. What time do they close during the day? I mean, probably 5 or 6. But I'll go as early
5
as
o'clock.
possible.
5
We're
o'clock.
being told. Yes.
5. Okay.
Oh.
So
Okay.
please,
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I'll
should.
have to do that.
we will even give you time of work to do it because it's your civic duty.
I think
to
it's
do so.
important. So I'll try to do that tomorrow.
And all of those who have an opportunity to register as a supplementary because you weren't, or you torn, it's lost, or whatever, please register so you can vote. Otherwise, if you don't and you come and tell me I don't like who won, I won't even speak to you because I said, well, you could have changed the results had you bothered to vote. So please, if you don't vote, I don't want to hear your views because it means that you are willing to accept whoever wins. Otherwise, you vote to change it or you vote to continue, whatever the case may be. You know, a vote. You know,
Yes.
people fought for us to be able to vote, and we should respect
So,
that.
so the PDOIS leader is talking about Barrow fearing a united opposition. Every individual should fear, you know, a united opposition.
Because otherwise you become complacent and you think, oh, it's a done deal, I've won and so on. And we had my Fati on the news yesterday saying that essentially it's an NPP-led coalition. It's not just an NPP government. Well, we tend to forget that
It's a
when we
coalition.
talk about coalition. Theirs is a coalition also. And he said that that coalition is strong, they're united, and as he says, we will win a landslide. So everybody's talking up their chances, as they say.
Although many people believe, I mean,
Time will
there are parties that coalesce with the NPP. You know, those parties cannot even pull 10,000 votes.
You know what they say,
Put,
and we've
put
said this,
together.
well, we've said this before. You know, if you don't have, you know, it's like you want to join a chain, and it's 100 miles long, and yet the 1 inch that will make this one connect to that one might be small, but it's significant. Without it, it can't happen.
Yeah.
So you can't downplay the roles of those parties. Oh, they can't
Pros
put 10,000.
past the post.
Those 5 or 10,000 might very well be what takes you over the line. So you cannot downplay
Yeah.
the significance of them at all. That's you know, that's a fatal mistake to make.
It's a little mistake.
So moving on, still on the Standard newspaper, the Gambia Immigration Department, 1,823 Gambians enrolled for biometric passport in Spain and Italy.
Yeah, so that's good that people can enroll for their biometric abroad. They don't have to come here, which used to be the case. You know, supposing you can't afford to come to do the biometrics, you know, the fingerprint, the eyes, and so on. Now you can do it abroad. So it's good. It's good that it's happening. And of course, you know, the next stage is that they will be able to vote. But the big change that has to happen is that we have to get rid of our marbles. Because how you vote here should be how you vote there. You can't have one system there and another here. Nobody's going to take a whole bunch of marbles to Spain, Italy, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, so people can vote. We have to move on from this. I know we like it, it's quaint, and we're the only ones who do it, but come on, you know, it's like, this is 2026. You know, by next election, it should be electronic.
I think even Guinea-Conakry, now they don't use marble.
Listen, oh, no, nobody else. What do you mean, even Guinea-Conakry?
Are we the
Nobody.
only one?
We're the only ones.
We're the only ones.
Please.
Really?
We are the only
Check,
ones.
there was a
sticking to
BBC article talking about how Gambia is the only one that, and that was 5 years ago.
How is my country hating change like this?
Yeah.
You are not adapting to all
Because
these conditions.
some people love it because of its uniqueness. Like, oh, we're the only ones. But it's kind of old-fashioned, and it's also saying that, you know, you do it because, you know, you have a largely uneducated, unlettered, but what does that say about you? You don't want to bring your citizens up so they can read and write?
Exactly.
You know, literacy rate is so low that you have to use that as a kind of, you know, it's a lame excuse, you know. But like I said, some people love it, the fact that we're the only ones who do it. But it's, you know, it's time it's passed.
So for
In fact, it was passed
for the
100 years
paper
ago.
for the paper, I mean, voting system, is it they put it on one box, right? And the name of the individual written on?
You have a piece of paper that has all the candidates.
Okay.
The candidate of your choice, it really is simple. Picture
Stick,
and the
Okay.
color, party color.
We'll
and-
come back to you.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you. Yeah. So, Julde, it's important for us to, you know, move to, I mean, the new way of voting.
Absolutely. Digitalization, other countries are moving forward, so Gambia should not be left behind. And I want to believe that, you know, even though sometimes we like the fact that, okay, we're unique, we're this, we're that, it's important to actually transition to the next level. Like Mr. Ade mentioned, this is the 2026 and the 21st century. So we need to really move away from this ballot, nakalasa marble, to something more digital, something more transparent and
Yeah.
all of that. Because the tendency also of, you know, forging, you know, things with the marble and also ensuring that you steal elections is very high with even the marble system, because then we've seen that even recently there are allegations that the IEC, they are transporting some of these boxes to rural Gambia without seal, without anything. So now even the way they are transporting it from one polling station to the next, a lot can happen during
Yeah.
that process.
Mr. Ade.
Yeah.
Yes.
a lot can happen, and one of the reasons is that, funny enough, actually, people have said that the marble one is actually one of the most difficult ones to use to cheat.
The marble?
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why it's been retained by some people. Advocate for that because, you know, it's you vote, they give you the mark, and you move on. And nowadays you have observers from all the parties. Before a single marble is dropped, you shake the bins and make sure there are no marbles in it.
Yeah.
So it makes it very difficult. And then it's sealed in front of everybody. Everybody taking part. If you're part, you're entitled to have an observer there. You don't just leave it to the IEC or you leave it to. So it makes it very difficult to cheat, to be honest. You know, and that's why when we hear people talk about cheating, they tend to talk about, oh, a lot of the people who voted are not even Gambians and so on. That's what they tend to say. Or they're not of age to vote and so on and so forth. They never say, oh, they stuffed the marbles, extra marbles in. But that's almost impossible to do these days because of the amount of scrutiny that is around it. And that's why, you know, some people have defended it, you know, because it's very difficult to cheat with it, to be honest.
You were talking about the name against the picture?
Yes, so you have the name. You'd have, say you have 10, or in the Gambia's case, 21 candidates. You'd have the name, the party symbol, and you mark X against the one that you're voting for, and you drop it, you know, the piece of paper in the bin. In America, in England now, you can even sit in your house and vote electronically. You know, again, even that one is being contested in America because they're claiming, and even in England, they say, oh, you know, they had this nonsense that, oh, in Muslim communities, they were kind of browbeating everybody to vote for the same candidate. But that's happens in many families. How many families do you go to where the whole family, you know, they're all voting for different candidates? It's usually, you know, they all tend to vote, you know, whether they're Muslim families or not. But it's one of these nonsense scare tactics that we've been hearing in England.
That's I mean, we
these Muslim communities, they're all voting
for us, we have, I mean, there was a time in our house we have different political parties.
It can happen.
My dad, different, my mom, my brothers, myself. I mean, you go and vote for anybody you want to vote for.
Yeah, correct.
You know, so what other story do we have?
So let's move on to the Foroya newspaper. There is a headline: ECOWAS Parliament endorses eliminating roaming charges.
And I was saying before we came on air that this has come up before. And now they've endorsed it because it's already been suggested by the regulators, you know, who are sort of responsible for regulating GSM companies. Yeah, you know, really, it's always been a contentious one where, you know, people say, well, they're using satellites. It's not like they're following me from here to Guinea-Bissau to wherever. So why am I getting charged every time? So when the European Union came, they were the first kind of broad-based one to say, wherever you are in Europe, there are no roaming charges because there's no excuse. There was no excuse for it anymore. And so inevitably it will come here, even though, you know, GSM companies might push against it. But I think it's like fighting an onrushing tsunami. Don't waste your time fighting it. You're going to get swamped because I think they'll try and... It's going to be a test because ECOWAS Parliament, they might endorse it. We've seen how, you know, people take things to the ECOWAS court and everybody ignores it, the judgment. So we don't want to get to that situation. We either want ECOWAS or we don't want it. If we want it, we have to respect what comes from the Parliament and what comes from the ECOWAS court. But we will see. But I think this one is almost inevitable because in many parts of the world now, there aren't any roaming charges. It's such an old-fashioned concept. Really.
So you can move about with your...
and we can just feel relaxed that you don't have to start worrying, you know, they're going to charge me.
Yeah.
You know, if, for example, if I want to use my UK phone here, then they're going to charge me. That I can understand. I'm on a different continent. But, you know, if I'm going to Senegal, Guinea-Bissau...
Within Africa?
Yeah,
yes.
Because what I'm saying is I'm not surprised that you know, I have a UK number and I want to use it here. They will charge me.
Yeah, well.
But if I have a Gambian number and I want to phone and I want to go to Sierra Leone or Guinea-Bissau or Guinea-Conakry, why should I be charged when it's the same satellite technology that's linking me to whichever of those countries are in? So I think that's why the court has said that it's no longer tenable for these roaming charges to exist, particularly as they're being taken away in other parts of the world, in Asia and Europe, Latin America and so on. Why should Africa be any different?
Yeah. So, do we have any other thing?
Yes, the main headline on the Foroya newspaper, BCC budget deadlock drags into 5th month as mayor sends matter to government.
Okay. I guess they can't agree. And if they can't agree and there's deadlock over that, then, you know, maybe it needs to go to the government to be the referee to decide one way or the other. Is the budget reasonable, unreasonable? Because some of them might say, oh, you know, it's taxpayers' money that you're playing with. You know, you need to be careful about how you use it and how you spend it. So that could be. So maybe they're fighting on behalf of us, the taxpayer rather. And of course, we've just had the Local Government Commission report, and it was quite scathing about every council that they investigated, about how they simply did not follow the rules. And he said it's not that there was an absence of rules, it's just that they normalized the kind of riding over them or ignoring them. And that was a really, really severe criticism. None of them escaped unscathed from that criticism. They were all sort of tarred with the same brush.
Okay.
So you were saying beyond our borders. So what anything beyond our borders that grabbed you?
So
Rwanda, Kenya, South Africa?
Let's talk about I mean the relation still between Jomai and Sonko. I've seen Sonko went to attend an event, and they welcomed him big time, you know, at some point. Many people were like, okay, Sonko, I think he lost his relevance already in Senegal. It's like he's not allowing Jomai to walk. He's nagging and complaining about issues and certain things. Yeah, so, but he's still relevant in Senegal.
He's very relevant. It's not that he's lost his relevance. I think he's almost playing a part of like what you tend to have with an opposition party, okay? When you're in opposition, you can say, if I was in opposition, I would do this, I would do that, da, da, da. When you get into power, then reality slaps you in the face and there's things you cannot do, okay? So he's kind of saying that, yeah, this guy's a president, but, you know, we fought the election on this and that and so on. I mean, some of the things they were criticizing Macky Sall for, they're now doing. Now that and he kind of feels embarrassed. So he's kind of like, oh, it's not me,
That's
so I'm not
Sonko.
the president. It's Jomai.
That's Sonko.
It's Jomai who's doing that. This is Sonko saying, oh, hey guys, it's not me. You know, it's Jomai. He's the president. If I was president, I wouldn't be doing that. So it's kind of a clever trick that he's playing. But, you know, trust me, if he becomes president, he'll be doing the same things because there are certain things you can and things you cannot do by law. You know, so, you know, it's easy to say I wouldn't do it when you're not in those shoes. And that's the game he's playing because he knows within the party he's still very popular. Within the party he's addressed as Monsieur le Président.
Monsieur le Président.
So, you know, he's kind of playing on that. And he's not, I don't think he'll ever be irrelevant because he's able to tap into a lot of things. I mean, these guys, for example, they're embarrassed that with all the problems that Macky Sall had, it was only under their watch that you had a student demonstration and a student being killed. These are the people who were supposedly on the side of the student. For them, that's a huge embarrassment. It's a tragedy, you know, obviously for the student who was killed.
Thank you, Mr. Ade. We've exhausted this time, and now we will go for a short break. And after the break, then we'll be taking a look at Pan-Africanism ideology and the celebration of Africa Liberation Day, 25th May. My son said to me last night, Dad, I was in the bedroom, you know, relaxing, and he was sitting, you know, he was at the sitting room, and he was like, Dad, when is Africa Liberation Day? And can you imagine? I didn't know they did.
Okay, let me give you, before I go, let me give you a question.
So I have to go search it.
Oh,
and I said, wait a minute, it's 25th of May. It's,
so let me give you a question now. Who was the first American president to invite all the ambassadors, African ambassadors, to the White House to celebrate African Liberation Day? Who was it?
You are taking me down the history lane.
No, just a guess. I just want you to guess, even if you don't know.
Let's say Ronald Reagan.
No, not quite close. It was John F. Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy.
Here we go. Anyway.
Oh, we'll take a short break. After the break, then the program is going to continue. This is QTV. This morning we are back. And I am Ibrahim Balde. I'm with Julden Jai here. Now let's move on to Pan-Africanism. Ideology, the celebration of the Africa Liberation Day, 25th May. We have Sheikh Tijan Gay, President, Pan-African Students Association, University of the Gambia, and Buba Silla, Secretary General, Pan-African Student Association, University of the Gambia. Gentlemen, you are welcome on QTV this morning. The whole world is watching you at the moment.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone, and good morning to QTV staff and all watchers of QTV News. We are here as Pan-African Students Association to discuss about our upcoming preparation for the African celebration. Thank you very much.
Yes. So is that Mrs. Silla?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am Buba Silla, the Secretary General of the 5th Executive Council of University of the Gambia Pan-African Student Association.
Okay.
So it's a profound joy and a pleasure to be here and then to discuss about the ideology of Pan-Africanism and then the preparation ahead of the African Liberation Day celebration.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
Interesting, Julia. This is the
ideology
ideology of Pan-Africanism. I mean, you know, they are really gingering us with their ideology already. Yeah, so let's talk about that ideology behind Pan-Africanism. We want to know. Because for me, I just hear Pan-African, people standing for Africa, talking about Africa, you know, but I just want to understand from your point of view.
Yeah, I guess the whole idea about Pan-Africanism is simple. It's about recognizing who we are as Africans, you know, accepting our diversity as Africans, and live under one continent, and also try to represent the continent and also protect our continent. I think if you look at Pan-Africanism historically, It has to deal with how to protect African and all Africans outside the world. You can understand the history of the African being having external conflict with the outside world, like the Westerns, the Arabs, and other types, other areas or other continents. That has been, you know, a historical moment in which African people has really lost a lot of things. We talk about issues of slavery, issues of, you know, let's say colonizations, issues of imperialisms, and issues of politics, governance, and everything. When we look at Pan-Africanism, it is centered on the idea of trying to liberate Africa and making sure to protect the African continents to look like other continents. Because if you look at the European Union, they come together to protect the interests of Europe. You look at the United Kingdom, they come together to protect the integrity of United Kingdom. And Africans too should come together to protect the integrity of Africa. But this is not done in an isolation. It is done in solidarity. Because we believe that no continent can live on your own, but we have to make sure we protect, and we have to make sure we represent what we believe and what we are, so that we can be the same with other.
So what do you believe? What do we believe? What do we represent? And who
we represent?
Who are we?
African and African cultures and African diversity. This is what we believe. Like, for example, you can come from one part of Africa, I can come from another part, but it doesn't distinguish us. What we are is Africans, and what we should recognize each other is being an African. I don't need to know who you are or where you come from, but just be an African and have the values of Africa and respect the values of Africa, and you become my brother as an African.
Is that concept not an illusion?
No, it's not an illusion. It depends on us, like Africans, our mindset, our concepts. Because today, you go to certain countries in Africa today, like let's take example of Gambia. You cannot say only the Gambians are living here. I always take example of Gambia because right now we have different people from different parts of Africa coming here, and they stay safe here. And they are doing very well here for their families there.
That's true.
They are protected and they are given the due respect, like the way the Gambians are given the due respect here. So if this concept is rooted in every part of Africa, I don't think you going to Zimbabwe will have that concept of, okay, I am a foreigner. Somebody going to South Africa will not have the concept that he's a foreigner there.
But it's the issue of South Africa.
Yeah, the issue of South Africa, we even made our stand there regarding what is happening there. It all boils down to the concept that we have as Africans, seeing your fellow African as a foreigner. These are the concepts that we have to eradicate, and we can eradicate this through sensitization and giving the right educational system to our young generations. The target is the young generations. We catch them young and make them understand that if it is a working system in the European Union, it can of course be a working system in the African continent. And this is what we are standing for, and this is our trajectory.
So, Buba, in terms of at the organizational level, why do you think that the commemoration of African Liberation Day is important?
Yeah, thank you. African Liberation Day is important to commemorate the event because since the formation of the organization of the African Union, back this, now called the African Union, it first celebrated the commemoration of the African Union, African Liberation Day as well. So it was on the 25th May, which was slated every year for the celebration of the African Liberation Day. So since then, it has been a driving force for the unity and then cooperation of all African countries. So since the first celebration of it, the commemoration of the African Liberation Day, so it has exempt to every other African countries where the day is celebrated. African pride is shows, cultural heritage, and then our identity is shown to the wider world. So it has raised awareness and then make people informed about the unity, about the cooperation of when Africans come together, and then the importance when we live in a harmony, and then, you know, important continent as well. So it is very important to commemorate the event, and then it has raised, you know, important issues such as awareness and then other stuff. So
at the association level, you know, what are some of the initiatives that you come up with to educate the students about the concept of, you know, Pan-Africanism?
Yeah, thank you. Like on the 24th of April this year, we commemorate the Gambia Republic Day, when Gambia gained its republic in 1970 on the 24th of April. So we commemorate the event at the University of the Gambia Faraba Banta campus. So in that event, we invited a distinguished guest where we discussed on the issues of Pan-Africanism, on the issues of nationalism, on the issues of cultural identity.
Yeah.
So those issues were exhausted there, and then it has raised a lot of awareness to the students and in general to the general body as well. From that, we gain a lot of followers to our page and then to our official members as well. So that alone speaks the volume of issues such as these activities that when you organize them and then they let an impact on the society. So apart from that, there are a lot of events that we did.
Okay.
We raised awareness during the December election crisis in Guinea-Bissau.
Okay.
So it was very important step for us when we raised that issue, a statement regarding that, and then it gained a lot of attention as well. So from that, we also, like he said, my president said here, we also issue a statement on the regards of the xenophobic nature of the South African nationals. So
It's Africa-phobic, not xenophobic. For
Okay.
me, because
Yeah,
they are not
yeah.
targeting other nationals. It's just Africans.
Yeah.
And you have all these, for whites that are owning big corporations in South Africa. But why are they not targeting them?
Yeah, that is the issue of the system. Just like he said, our role as people from Africa, or as young people from Africa, should make sure we understand the dynamics of African system.
Right.
We have people in Africa surviving that are not Africans, and we don't go after them. But the same people will use us to go after our own people.
Exactly.
This is the concept we have to understand. And if you look at the Pan-African Student Association in the University of the Gambia, this is the trajectory we have to follow. We have to make sure Julde recognize me as his brother, sister, or whatsoever. I will recognize you too also as my brother, sister, or whatsoever. Do you understand? In this way, I can accommodate you. Whether you are a Freetonian, whether you are from Guinea-Bissau or Senegal, I will see you like my own brother. Just like if you look at the issues happening in the African context, it is not done by the foreigners. The Western people. They use our own African against us.
Right.
Look at what is happening in Nigeria, in DR Congo. It is being done by the African people. Do you understand? But through the instigations of the Western ideology. You look at Libya today. What happened to Libya? It is caused by the Libyan themselves. But the idea comes from where? The idea comes from the Western concept. So you will understand that now the idea is they are not coming to attack us directly, but they use our own people through extremism or whatsoever so that we can engage in conflict among ourselves. You asked about what we are doing to make sure people understand this Pan-African ideologies and the concept. One of the things that we do is, I believe in education, because in education you can make sure everything that you want to pass through can go into, because that's where we target the young generation. That is why part of our initiative is to make sure going to schools to collaborate with young children and understand them, make them understand about the issue, so that before they transit to the university, they will already develop the idea.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we are doing in our advocacy is to make sure our educational curriculum as a country or as an African align with the issues of loving Africa and nationalism.
True.
We also engage on practical aspects like going to communities, do cleansing exercise, tree planting, to make sure people should have this resilience that this environment belongs to us. This country belongs to us. Because if Gambia is safe, anybody who comes from anywhere in Africa, if you come, you are safe.
Exactly.
And if we are all safe in this country, which means now we don't recognize each other by Gambian, but we recognize each other by who we are.
So, I mean, the idea of African against his African brother, I mean, this has been here for a long time. What do you think? I mean, during the slave trade, I mean, they use Africans to capture their own African brothers. So what are we going to do to decolonize that mind? I mean, to make sure...
If you look at historically, you will see that each of these Europeans, after sitting in the Berlin Conference and divided Africa, each of them have their own system to come with in Africa. You look at the French, the system that they come with, the assimilation policy.
Assimilation, yes.
The indirect rule by the British. Do you understand? That should tell you that they have their good studies before coming. Each of them decided the system you are going to use in order to penetrate in the society to get your objective.
Right.
Do you understand? So when the British came, they used the indirect rule system. They know that by themselves, they cannot do it. They will be deterred by language,
Yeah.
culture, or anything. So they try to use few people among us and make us believe that, look, you are better than these people. Do you understand? So this is what we need you people to do for us so that our objective can be met and we are going to reward you. Do you understand? Understanding the dynamics of conflict of interest and governance in Africa, you will understand that that is the same system that they are using to use the governments to go after people. Because now that the slave trade is ended, they can no more use individuals
Yeah.
in people.
So we have modern slavery.
We have modern slavery.
I think
Do you understand?
Yeah.
to reinforce that point
Yeah.
as well, it has to do with policy. For
Definitely.
instance,
Yeah.
our policies in African here are very dormant,
Exactly.
because there are so many policies when it comes to addressing these issues, but they are very weak when it comes to implementation and then evaluation of
You've
them.
seen the problem.
Yeah. So in order to salvage that trajectory, I think there should be a policy reform, and then involvement of youth.
Yeah.
Youth has to be empowered in order to salvage that trajectory.
Exactly.
So I believe with that we will have a utopian African continent, and then everything we will be living in that fantasy, and then we will salvage this country from the trajectory of the colonialists, imperialists, and then Western ideologies with our own policies and our own implementation strategies as well. So
You're totally right about that, because recently I moderated a session of the Convention of the African People.
Sure.
You know, that some of the issues, because you have some of these scholars coming all the way from Ghana, then building by road and then coming all the way to the Gambia here. But some of the issues that they mentioned was the fact that, you know, you have a lot of these security forces
Yes, yeah.
extorting money from them, and they really they feel like, okay, they are not even part of those countries. They're treating them like slaves, or they're treating them like people that are, you know, foreigners and all of that, and we are all Africans. So it's rather unfortunate that you see people, even Senegal here,
Yeah.
going from the Gambia, going to Senegal. It's a big challenge now.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
a
know, the
big challenge.
issue of Africa is sometimes linked to attitude.
Yeah,
You know, we will go sit in a very confined place, formulate policies.
yeah,
Because you look at the ECOWAS, you look at the AU, we have the African Free Trade Tariff.
exactly.
Do you understand? Which is properly documented and theoretically put into order. But when it comes to the practical,
Practice.
the same people that sit in a round table to discuss this and see it as a solution will violate it.
Exactly.
So, and this has to do with attitude. Do you understand?
True.
And that is why, as African, we also need to consider the way we make decisions. Like when we are to do elections or put in our leadership, we have to make sure we put people that we believe that, or that convince us that if they set up something that they regard as the solution, it must be make sure it is implemented. Because policies doesn't stop at consultations or let's say
Right.
drafting age. After drafting consultations, we expect them to be implemented. And that implementation should be a responsive of the needs of the people.
True.
If policies are not responsive, then there is no need of drafting them. And this is why we have problems in Africa. You know, you will just elect anybody in power and expect them to implement policies that they are already influenced by other people. Because we have the Pan-African Parliament Committee in the National Assembly. Do you understand? They hardly, in fact, reach out to us to know what we are doing in the university or visit there. Do you understand? We understand that sometimes, you know, certain things are influenced by outside decisions.
Yeah.
But we have to make sure whatever we see as a solution, it has been implemented to respond to the needs of the people. This is the whole idea that we have. And that has to do with attitude. And to try to galvanize the attitude of the people, you give them the right education, the right orientation, so that they can elect the good leadership that you want, that can stand and say, hey, this is not good to my people. I am not going to do it.
Yeah.
In respect of whatever amount loan or grant you are given, but you must make sure you protect the integrity of where you come from first before accepting that.
So
that
finally, before we wrap up the
activities,
program,
yeah.
yes.
so what can Africans do, I mean, to promote that Pan-Africanism?
Yeah,
It's very significant.
Yeah, that's
And what are you doing at your own level, association level, to celebrate this day?
the commemorations.
Yes, the
Yeah, I will
commemoration.
start from his question about what African should do. We start with you and I. You understand? We are school. We understand the power politics that is happening
Right.
within the globe. Do you understand? From our community level to the national level to the international level, there is power dynamics that is being played.
Right.
And the idea is you have to focus on what benefits you. If you look at the world in a realist perspective, you will understand that there is no authority that is governing anything. Anybody can just jump on and do whatsoever suits you in order to protect yourself or to go for your interests. Do you understand? As a country or as a continent, we also have to have good foreign policies.
True.
Foreign policies that will resonate our values, foreign policies that will resonate our needs, foreign policies that will resonate about making sure our people are well informed and they cannot be used against us. Because the problem I said here is, today I can just go and acquire a visa and go to Europe.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I will have a different orientation about Africa.
Exactly.
And it is put to me by these people. They will make sure they will link my predicament with my village people. This is the first thing that they do. And as Africans, this is our problem. Anytime we face hardship, we think that it is caused by other people that are closer to us. So we develop that enmity. Do you understand? And in the state also, that is what we do. If you say certain hardship, you said, okay, it's the state that is doing this to me. So if you go outside, you are easily used as an extremist against your own people. That is why we have to make sure we protect the African. Even whereas you go outside education, you are protected. You understand what orientation you are giving, whether good or bad. You come from a community, and that community is the first community that shapes you, that prepared you. So if you go to another community and you are asked to be used against that community, then that information needs to be in you to make sure you protect yourself first if we want to liberate ourselves.
Yes.
Right.
What are we going to do to commemorate this African Liberation Day? The plans are ahead,
Yeah.
and we are going to collaborate with a lot of stakeholders. Stakeholders that understand the issues and the context of Africa and the history of African Liberation Day and how it came to be. And one of the things is we have collaborated with Nusrat Senior Secondary Schools so that to target the young children to understand about why African liberation should be commemorated. And
Thank
second
you.
things, bring in other people to come and discuss about the day and tell us why the day should be celebrated.
Thank
what
you,
do we
Sheikh
need as
Tijani.
When is
Africa?
finally?
Yes.
When
Yes.
is this day and time?
Yeah, the date is 25th May 2026.
Okay.
So the venue is at Nusrat School Hall,
Yeah.
and then the time is at 10 o'clock
10
a.m.
o'clock.
Yeah.
And we will love you
We
people
will-
to be
Is
there.
it open to everyone?
Yeah,
Everyone,
we'll appreciate
Especially young
if you are
people.
in.
Young
if
people.
you
It's
are
open to the
around, yeah.
public. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, Sheikh Tijan Gay and Buba Silla. Let us unite and promote that Pan-Africanism, Africa for Africans. And, you know, do not see your African brother as an enemy.
Definitely.
You understand? And it's important for you to pinpoint this, you know. For those of us that traveled, you understand, sometimes you travel to other locations and you see your own African brother and you even pass without exchanging even a greeting. You understand? Because it's like adaptation have already taken place. They've
Yeah.
adopted to the system there. To a point, I mean, they go with those type of attitudes.
Yeah.
So Africa is for Africans. Yeah, so thank you. Viewers, will take a short break. And after the break, then we will talk to GTSC. We will be talking to Jaina Baba, Marketing Manager, and of course, Amadou Drame, Operations Manager at GTSC, on Tubaski preparations. So on that note, we'll be right back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for joining us. Now let's head to the last segment of this program. And as we are approaching Tubaski, as you know, transportation is very significant at this time. And the most reliable, you know, service that you can get in this country is, offered by GTSC. Our own GTSC. So it's important for us to engage them on Tubaski preparations as the festives fast approaching, and most of the people travel across the country use the service. But I am not very happy. I want to really confirm from GTSC. I've been hearing people talking about it, the tariffs. If you increase the tariff, GTSC, I will not be happy about that. So we have Jaina Baba, marketing manager, GTSC, and of course we also have Amadou Drame, director of operations. Gentlemen and lady, welcome to QTV this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. So let's talk about the preparations, Mr. Drame. How far have you gone?
Thank you, sir, for having us, and good morning to our viewers. GTSC is a household name in the country. We're a public transport company that we ferry everybody to their direction, depending on their choice, because we have different services. So when Tobaski comes in every year, we do stretch ourselves beyond our capacity to see what we can do for average Gambians to get to their villages. And as we know, in Gambia, though majority of the people can be in the urban areas to actually for work, for other things, but when it comes to festive period, everybody would want to go to their respective villages, villages where they have their mothers, family, and siblings that they want to share this festive period, most particularly Tobaski. So usually when Tobaski is here, we have a lot of people, influx of people coming in. But that didn't just happen as for coincidence. As coincidence, it's because we have assured Gambians, and then we have also given them that track record that when they come, their travel is assured. And they also come, obviously, and the fare is relatively affordable. And so with those assurance and that with the track records, so every year we see people come, and the number is always on the increase, on the rise every year. So this year too is sort of an exception. This year we're equally preparing to tell the Gambians that here we are GTSC, as we used to do, reliable, safe and affordable, that we would want to come to your aid as well, to take you to your villages to enjoy this this festive period or this Tobaski with your family in peace and harmony.
So, Jenaba, GTSC, what makes you different from other transport services in the country?
Okay, Julde, like Amadou rightly mentioned, we are the transport service, the most organized transport service that Gambians trust to be traveling with. We are the most organized transport company. And if you see, we are also the only transport company in the Gambia that is structured. And the second thing is we are safety. We are the safest transport service. If you look at it, accidents are inevitable, but then our accident rate is very minimal. Sometimes it's fatal, but percentage-wise, you can say we are at the lowest grade when it comes to percentage. As Amadou also rightly mentioned, affordable. Amadou, I will add very. We are very affordable.
How affordable?
Very affordable, Julde. If you look at it, we don't. We have like direct zones. We don't go bit by bits to the different destinations. We don't charge our customers into bits and pieces. We have zones that if you want to travel to your destination, we charge you as per the destination that you want to travel to. So that being the case, we are affordable and we are not overstretching Gambians with their pockets to pay fares.
So what is affordable this year? I mean, I want to understand, because I'm hearing there is a fair increment. If that is the case, how affordable is GTSC this time? What happened? Is the fuel crisis hitting you as well?
Well, they due to global challenges.
Don't blame global challenges, please.
Why not? Due to global challenges, it's hard for everybody worldwide, not only Gambians. So even with Lolu Nonu, sir, our increment is just minimal, not very. You will not stretch your pocket. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
You
man
will
dama war a
travel-
dem julli base
dangaa
te
dem ak sa
GTS la
family
use.
te doo soona sa
Ah.
boss bi du ko yëg.
te xam nga man family man la su ma dem doom yi ak jabar yi
xam naa way
ah.
ñëwal in addition to loolu Balde we will want to inform the general public that of every year ñu ñoo de yóbbu Gambians yi ñu lañ trust pour
No,
ñu
we
demaat
trust you, honestly.
Yeah. So we have that being the case, then they organize suñ boppa
Okay.
because we are there for our customers.
Yeah.
We introduce every year annually thing that we call the boarding passes. So boarding pass boobu noonu, in fact, all of us, including your Balde, come on time,
Ma
get
ñëw
your
jël
boarding
ko,
pass.
waaw.
Waa ndax nga xam ne bés booy dem when the day that you're traveling, you
Okay.
will not face delays and chaos.
Wow, thank you.
We have one problem with Gambians, ngeen baalal ma dañ am problème yi rang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Joolaay
Wow.
rang leen.
loolu la de ñoom seenu manga soo amee ñu mel nii it's a problem.
Last minute ba pare bugga ngeen late bugga ngeen lii soo leen ñëwee rang leen soo leen fekkee Amadou Force may leen ko mu romba nga duga
Wow.
mu organise ba bugga dee because it took us months to do this so customer yi suñ ñu dimbale wutee rek daf
Wow.
dee jaxasoo.
No, there was a guy that called me, and this goes to the operations director. Mu ne ma last year it was chaotic. So yéen a ngi amee woon ay loudspeaker di wóor si biir nit ñi. Understand nga moom dafa feel ne that wasn't organized. Dafa feel ne why not ngeen defar ay tabla base na base ñëw fii jaara sooma fii xam nga bansang fële. Don't you think this time dañ war a def loolu mu gën a organize because nit ñi suñ fa bëree kenn xamut fu moo dem tam it's a problem.
I think that gentleman could have made due diligence before probably talking about it publicly. Because every year, like Jenaba said, we have started giving people boarding pass for the past 5 years.
Okay.
The idea of boarding pass is actually for you to come and secure your seat because all the buses are numbered. Numbered in a sense that giving the bus capacity,
Okay.
the boarding passes are sized to that. And then bus after bus after bus. And then the day of operations, we have a sticker pasted on those buses to say it's from this number to this number.
Okay.
And then what we do is we color code by days. Like Tuesday we have white, Wednesday we have blue, and then Thursday we have yellow. That way is to separate the days. On top of that, the very day we have tents around because Tobaski used to be in the range, right? We have tents around, even whereas there is no rain, but we have tents around because
The sun.
when actually the sun is up, everybody would have to look for shade. So we want everybody to be steady. And on top of that, we have the securities around. Not only that, this is an activity that, like Jenaba says, is a peak period for us. So we cannot just wait for things to actually crumble on us. So we have a committee that is set with different responsibility. Those that are taking care of those that miss their buses, those that are taking care of those that really don't even have any idea.
Okay.
We have a desk office at the gate. Last year there was people responsible at the gate that when you come new that you don't have a boarding pass.
Okay.
What should you do? That was there. The issue is the people that comes in large number without any idea of what is happening. It's significant. And as well as they don't even, and some are in hurry. They feel when they come, they want to go. I can tell you,
Yes.
comfortably tell you that people are there as early as 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Our departure starts at 5 a.m. So when you come at 8 a.m. and you feel you want to go at 8 a.m., it's somehow not fair.
Yes,
because the
absolutely.
Gambian want something fast.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have to follow the process as we have organized ourselves and then do due diligence to ask. You will have people that will actually help you with information. That has been there, and I can assure you for the past 10 years we've been doing this. So we are master in the craft.
You people are reliable. More
We are
than
master in the craft already. So 10 years in operations.
So let's do this in Wolof Julde so that our local,
Exactly.
yeah.
So boarding pass yo len na wax ni when kan la mo start kan ngeen na start the issue boarding pass yi pour nit yoo xam ne daal early goers lañ dañ bëgg a go early and then convenient, no rush and anything. Kañ ngeen ko issue te boarding pass yooyu noonu tamit ndax daf dee am times stipulated in the boarding pass na time bi la boss bi war a dem or
Julde comme ni ko Amadou waxee boarding pass yi door nañ di ko joxe sax suma mbokk yi xam naa suñ dee door nañ du ngeen dégg suñ advert yi ñu ngi daw si radio si including QTV si boppam xam nga Q radio sorry advert yi door nañ di daw depuis 2 weeks ago boarding pass itam door nañ di ko joxe fu mu nekk nii ku soxla boarding pass mun ngaa ñëw si office bi from 8 to 6 this is before the 3 days before Tabaski. So 3 days before Tabaski si la peak moom mooy suñ peak period bi si la operation bi di door so comme li Amadou wax si la kéyo si dee am ak yii nii yëpp comme li Amadou doon wax rek si nasaraan stickers yi kii doon wax ni ak yii nii yëpp dañ ko dee def waaye because nit ñi nuñ dee bare ak Gambian bi problème biñ dee am rang beeg nga ñëw fekk a julde si line bi bugg a koo ñaay ak yooyu noonu so dañ dee organise bi dañ dee indi PIU yi sax pour ñu ñëw di ñu jàppale so tents yeeg yi moo wax ni yëpp ñu ngi fa just pour customers yi ñu nekk at ease ñu travel at ease ñu dem julli ji because xam nañ ne Tabaski lu si ëppa nit ñi si fële lañ dee dem julli ji lu si ëppa ñu bari duñ dee jullee si kombo bi fii nii so moo tax ñu knowing that moo tax ñu dee teel a jóg ñun tamit ñu préparer pour lii waaye because du ñun rek ñu ne ñoom la so ñoom it moo tax ñu dee génn di leen sensitize ñu ngi use suñ social media platforms yi yëpp GTSC platform boo dem di nga ko fa gis ñu ngi ko fa share looloo waral tam tey ñu ñëw fii nii pour gën a sensitize nit ñi pour ñu ñëw so to answer your question loolu is ongoing ku nekk ku bugg a time bi soo demee sax di nga fekk gaay ñu ngi joxe boarding passes yi.
Okay, interesting. Go ahead.
So in terms of tamit ñu bugg a dem ndax benn designated place rek ngeen dee am or yu da ngeen ko decentralize in different places pour ensure ne affaire bi dafa di congest tamit because nit ñi dañ dee bëri so and when people are too much it's chaotic. So in order to avoid that, do you have different spots ñoo xam ne nit ñi mun nañoo dem foofu no not just one place?
Okay, am nañ Brikama because lu ëpp fii nit ñi yëpp Kombo lañ dee jógee dem julli ji so obviously Kanifing la base bi nekka Kanifing lañ de waaye Brikama mu ngi fa base tamit ñi fa nekka dañu ngay jël so da ngaa gis ne soo mënutee ñëw Kanifing mun ngaa dem Brikama waaye bulk of the thing is here balaa maa romba ma answer sa question bi boarding pass bi laajte nga ndax dañ fa dee binda time beeg yooyu noonu daf fa dee nekka service bi nga bugg a use time bi te ñu baalal ma rectify something Amadou mu ngi mention fii colours last year colours yi la just mention ni maybe this year son delloo dinañ fa gis different colours because every year dañ dee change colours yi pour bañ joolaay indi last year colour bi ñëw ne ñu jëndoon na ak yu xam nga so this year soo demee di nga fa fekk a different colour buñ ko disclose soo ñëwee nga ñu jox la sa colour dee bi nga bugg a dem waaye time bi dafa dee nekk ak boss type bi nga bugg a demee and everything
waaw léegi ñun ñu ngi focus more on the service while we're forgetting about the state of our buses so lan moo nekk state of bus yi dañu am bus yu ees or maintenance nañ suñ bus yu fa nekka to make sure there is safety because buggaloo tam nga dem ba nga aaga maybe diggante fooñi sa tànki bus bi toj yàlla tere or nga am puncture or dara yaahu. What is the state of our buses at the moment?
When you look at GTSA structure, it's such that you cannot have a public transport company without having a competent engineering department. We have a whole engineering department, and when you enter GTSC, the building you see at the far east is the engineering department, headed by a director of technical service. So we have a standing rule that every vehicle that leaves GTSC to even go to, let's say, the shortest place is Iceman, when it comes back, it has to pass through inspection for the driver and the inspector, who is an engineer, to check what is wrong with the vehicle. So coming to these important occasions, we have, in management, have task engineering to check and further checked. The check is there in principle and check is there in operations. But you have to really check again because we would stretch ourselves, meaning the number of buses we are releasing would be high. So we are talking about a day over 70 buses leaving Kanifing, 70. And that is not our regular operations, 70. The 20 is actually our normal departures to South Bank, this stretch. An additional 50, why we bring in 50 is to cater for the space in between. You know, our departures are structured, like Jennifer said. An organized transport company would have a schedule, a roster, that you depart by hours. And the crew will be there, the buses will be available for people to come. When the time is up, we leave. We don't just leave as the usual garages.
Wow.
So that schedule is there, and also on top of that, because of the pressure, the demand, we have in between each hour a 30 minutes where we have departures. I can comfortably tell you we would have on daily basis 70 buses leaving, and engineering department have looked into all those buses. The technical part,
Yes,
the wear and tear, and all what that's supposed to be
And
done.
there is a message that we received from one of our viewers. He said, I was there last year and have been waiting for a very long time, and I went to get my ticket. But one of their staff came with a list of names and bypassed us to the person selling tickets. And it was really a bad situation for me, because according to the individual, he was there and he wanted to purchase a ticket, and one of your people came with a list. So, I mean, passed him to the person selling tickets, and he acquired his tickets while he was standing there, you know, without getting an access. So is that also a thing that you are looking at?
During the operations, those that got their boarding pass are assured of travel. So all they have to do, which people with that loudspeaker they call it, to tell them this departure time from this serial to this serial is this bus. That if you hear, you rush to that part. That is those that come early.
He's talking about the ticket selling point.
Those that come early. Those that don't come early, when you come, what we do is the desk that we have put there, information center. What it does is to get people that come to very early, get their names in a list, because they're not planned for.
Okay.
Get their names in a list, so that the person that come 4 a.m. without a boarding pass and the person that come 8 o'clock cannot all struggle for the same bus.
Exactly.
It's unfair.
Yeah.
That's what brought about the list. Because when we get a boarding pass, remember, if you have a boarding pass, we ask your name and your destination. That is already a list as well, a printed one.
Okay.
But a handwritten list, which is called a manifest in transportation. Every name that's supposed to go is in that list called manifest. When you get your boarding pass, your name is there. Is that names that we will call? Fatu Jallo, yes, your boarding pass confirmed. You enter. Because you took time to come and get it ahead of time. But when you don't at all and come that very day,
But
you
the
will
first
find a
time,
place.
So do you have buses that are going to travel to Senegal?
Yes, we do.
During this festive season?
Yes, we do. We do. We have our regular departure, and we will have 1 or 2 that is added based on demand that will be going to Dakar.
Okay.
So it's chaotic during this time. How about the safety of people and also their goods? How do you go? What measures are you coming up with to protect their goods and also individuals that are boarding these buses?
Jules, balama dina delu gannaaw tuuti si question yi balde bi bari bosses yi ndax am nañ enough bosses ak safety beeg yooyu noonu comme ni ko Amadou waxee am nañ a very good engineering team bi nga xam ne they're working on depuis léegi door nañ di liggéey on boss yi make sure waaye machine la sometimes the unforeseen will happen su happenee tamit ñu understand ñu te xam ne yeneen nga eewu sax di liggéey taal sa moto mu bañ yeneen si yoon bi sax mu bañ waaye nag ñun ñu ngi def suñ kéemtalaay kàttan pour make sure ne daal ñaanuñ ko yàlla dara du xew breakdown du am tus du xew dinañ leen yóbbu si jaama delloo si leen si jaama because soo ko seetloo boos yi dañ dee dem dellu si waat di same day dañoo dem ba base dellu si fa jóge fa guddi boobu dellu si just pour mun a yóbbu nit ñi pour dara bu mu des about that guy question am bi comme ni ko Amadou waxee ki teel a ñëw léegi nii yow Balde ñëw nga tey jël nga sa boarding pass a week before julli de jógee fële ñëw bugg a dem that same day that same time xam nga du nekk benn waaw so liste bi moo wax noonu mooy li Amadou wax manifeste
Okay.
Manifest boobu noonu fa la liste tur yi ñëpp day nekk ñu oote ngeen dugal.
Thank you Jenaba, thank you Amadou.
Security.
Time bi jeex na.
waaw security bi PIU mooy PIU yi ñu indi. pour ñu dimbale ñu si joolaay yeeg séeréer yi pickpockets yeeg yooyu noonu. so joolaay yaa ngi fa including ñun si suñ boppa suñ in-house security bi. te dañ lay am ñoo xam ne tam dinañ nekk in plain clothes di bàyyi xel environment bi situation bi.
Thank you.
So
the best travel of my life bu ma def with GTSC. benn driver moo ma yóbbu bu tudda Ali Camara Ali ku ñuul la ni mu xaw a njool he was professional he was good at what he was doing he was very patient boosam bi tam neex seetaan naa film
amutoon AC.
seetaan naa film dugga naa si AC yóbbu na ma ba foofu bu ma àggee base ma ne ko bro naka nga tudda mu ne ma Ali. You know, he was so professional and very patient. So thank you very much. Travel with GDIC. Bidu yoyu. Bidu yoyu. Julie, this is all we have.
Until we come your way
Yes.
tomorrow for another edition of This Morning. I'm tempted to say new dialogue.
Yes, bye-bye.